Hey everybody, Jomo here with the Possum Posse. I'm coming to you live from Possum Posse headquarters in Austin, Texas. I got an intriguing email that said, do you want to try out this violin? And I said, I will try out pretty much any violin. I like playing violins. The weird thing was, this thing costs $70 with shipping. It's actually $69.99. And so I was a little skeptical. I still am pretty skeptical. I have not opened this thing. This is how it came to me in the mail. And I have not opened this package. This is from a company called Glary Music. There's people who play violins that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know. There's people who play stuff. My personal violin is one I play over here. I got it at actually an antique fair. It's not anything fancy. So I thought I'll bust out this $70 violin and see where it's at. You got to keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to open this thing up. It's got a case. That's good. Be weird if they shipped it without a case. Or at least some sort of padding. First impression, this thing doubles as a backpack, so you're going to want to wear this around town. Sport it, if you will. Okay. It's the big reveal. It's got that new violin smell. That old new fiddle smell. Okay. We got, let's see. We got some instructions. Violin. Okay. Yeah, this is it. First impressions, this is definitely not a fancy look. You're not going to waltz into some sort of philharmonic and everyone's going to stop what they're doing and look at you and say, I don't even know what would happen if you waltzed into a philharmonic with a nice violin. It's not anything fancy, but it looks, it's attractive, kind of antique look. It's got a bow. The bow is a little bit entangled here with the bow holder. So I'm going to just try my best to get that out of there without breaking any hairs. Bear with me. Do we have any background music or something? I've broken exactly one hair. I feel pretty good about that. Feels like a bow. It looks like a bow. The wood here on the frog of this thing looks to be fairly rough, as if it were carved out of some rough lumber strewn about, perhaps a lumber yard or something. There's a few kind of quality issues there on the bow. It's not the best bow I've ever seen, but seeing as a lot of bows themselves cost more than $70, I'd say that's fine. Next up, this shoulder rest. Shoulder rest, that's cool. You're going to want a shoulder rest if you're playing the violin. Next up, a set of strings. That ain't bad. 2 sets of strings. They could have probably just put 1 set of strings in here and I would have been like, okay, all right. A tuner. This has, these are kind of cool, actually. Clamp it on there, play some notes, see what it tells you. It'll tell you. All right, there you go. Now I'm gonna start it by doing it just on my face. Yeah, it's an A. That's clearly an A. Moving on. We have down here in the end a rosin case. Okay, the rosin appears to have been crumbled. Once again, not ideal. Rosin is it's like sap that's hardened. Makes all these little catchy bits of the horsehair catchier. The violin, get rid of that rosin. Rosin everywhere. Here's the violin itself. Yeah, it's not a bad looking violin for $70. That's pretty cheap, man. This said this is a composite material on the tailpiece. Chin rest, nothing fancy, but it's chin rest, gets it done. I'm noticing the tuning peg material is jujube. If anybody knows what jujube wood is, I'd love to know. Top of this thing's spruce. The side's maple. Under here, it looks like we've got the bridge. It seems fine. So I guess what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set this thing up. Okay, so once you get the bridge in place, so it looks like to me the action on this guy is fairly high. meaning it's pretty tall there. There's a couple nicks and things on it. A little bit of maybe Sharpie action or something going on over here to cover up some nicks and things, it looks like. I don't know if you can see the little, there's like some scratches, nicks, Sharpie marks and things. The back of the neck's got a few imperfections, and you want to get the feet of this thing. If you look closely, these are the F holes. It's just shaped like an F. You line this bridge up right in the middle between the two. The feet of these things should hug the surface here. This surface. There's a little bit of a gap on certain places. So what you do, this is what I do. Get a little sandpaper, tape it to the front of this thing. Because each violin has its own curve on the top. And you take the bridge, you move it back and forth a little bit, get those feet sanded, and they hug the surface of the violin. That will transfer the sound more efficiently and make a better sound. I think that's it. I'm going to rosin up the bow. Maybe you've heard the old saying, let's rosin up the bow. Maybe you've heard that song that's like, rosin up. That's not about this. It's actually a different thing. Okay, what they've sent is a very broken clump of rosin. Man, that is very broken, though. There's rosin everywhere. When I opened up that case of rosin, it just powder went all over everything. So it's probably ruined a lot of my electronics. And I'm going to fast forward through me rosining a bow for 45 minutes. You can never have too much rosin. Or maybe, I don't know if that's true. I'm just going to say it, though. I'm feeling good about it. All right, we're going to get this thing tuned up. I've already attached my tuner. Cool thing about this tuner, as you play, it lights up green. I don't know if you can see that. All right. Moment of truth. See what we sound like. First of all, the action feels really high. My fingers are pretty far off the fingerboard when I'm playing. I might just take a file and get in there and lower these strings, at least on the lower strings. I would get some sandpaper and get those feet to really hug the face of this guy. I think if you were to do that, it would sound instantly a lot better. Also, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a little honky is what I would call it. It's just a little honky. Yeah, a little honky, a little scratchy, and a little bit thin is how I would describe it. That said, this thing is $70, man. It's crazy. It's pretty freaking good for a $70 thing. Fiddle is hard hard to learn because there's no, there's no frets on it, and you're not strumming. So a lot of people come from playing guitar. It takes some time. So I can see why you wouldn't want to invest $1,000 in something that you're just going to kind of try to learn and see if you like it, see if you take to it. And then if you show up to a jam with one of these things, you can play along. People are going to love it. People like the fiddle. All right, well, I like this thing overall. I think it's a great starter violin. If you're wanting to get into it and learn some tunes, this might be a cool option. Thanks for tuning in, and I want to say thanks to the Glary Music people, GlaryMusic.com, for sending me this fiddle. $70, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. We'll see you down the road. A lot of rosin everywhere.